Hey, welcome to the weekend. It is now President's Day weekend, one of the biggest ski weekends. I would say it is. It's probably close to the biggest ski weekend of the entire season, and we've got a warm up heading our way to the southeast. Of course, this is meteorologist Brad Pinovich with your Ski Southeast update. The good news is we got some snow this week. We may get a little bit of snow tonight into tomorrow morning in West Virginia and parts of Maryland. But we've been able to make snow this week, and we got some natural snow. That's the good news. So we've laid the groundwork. The bad news, we're not going to get any more this weekend, and there's no snowmaking that's going to be going on this weekend either. So we're kind of left with what's on the ground and on the slopes right now, which isn't a bad thing because a lot of the resorts have done an incredible job getting these places completely blanketed for snow for the big weekend. So here's the pattern. As of your Friday morning, we've got southwesterly flow developing. But if you look real carefully, you can see that little hint of some moisture still coming off the Great Lakes in the low levels, creating a little bit of snow up there in West Virginia and Maryland. But as we go into the future, you see that dries up quickly and high pressure begins to dominate. Really quick warm up on Friday. Many mountain locations will be well into the 40s, maybe cracking 50 degrees on Fridays. We go towards Saturday, increasing clouds from the south with a quick moving system, which has been kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. It is warm enough that it could bring a little bit of rain to the North Carolina resorts, but up in West Virginia and Virginia, I think it's primarily a cold rain, possibly a little bit of snow mixed in there. So if there's a little bit of a questionable day this weekend for skiing, not that it's going to be bad skiing, but there could be some rain and kind of drizzly, dreary conditions. It's going to be Saturday. You can see as we go into Sunday, the sun comes back out. Certainly it's going to be warm, but the good news is we're not looking at any rain or anything that's going to help further melt the base that we have built up on a lot of the resorts. So what about snowfall? I talked about this. There is a little hint that early this morning, when I'm recording this, so Thursday night into Friday morning, there could be just a hint of snow here. A little fast-moving jet stream disturbance could kick that off. Again, that's the only chance of snow really in the next 72 hours. So through Monday, we're bone dry as far as snowfall. And a snowmaking operation says it's not a really good setup here. You can see why. Snowmaking operations tonight, last night into this morning are okay, but as we go into Friday night into Saturday morning, not going to be cold enough in a lot of locations to make snow, and I don't think we're going to see anything get cold enough over the entire weekend for snowmaking in any location in the southeast. So that being said, we're left with what's on the slopes now, which isn't a horrible thing because thankfully we've done a great job this week getting the bases built up and throughout the season. Now, we start looking past President's Day. Once we get past this weekend, are we done with winter? That's the number one question I've been getting. Well, to be honest with you, next week is super warm. We get blowtorched most of the East Coast, including the Southeast. Really warm temperatures for most of next week after President's Day. But there are hints or signs that I really feel good about because it looks like the cold air tries to make a pretty gigantic comeback towards the end of the month into early February. Now, it's hard for me to get too excited about this because the pattern this winter has been so warm, especially in the last month and a half. But as you know, we've had some cold shots come down for 3 or 4 days at a time. And certainly with the prolonged cold weather that we had early in January and then the warm weather, then a brief cold shot, and now warm weather again, it usually always yings and yangs. So at some point, this cold air is going to come back. And there are signs the polar vortex could weaken a little bit going into the beginning of March. And if you've been in the Southeast any length of time, you know March is a crazy month. So all bets are off for what can happen in March. We certainly could get a late season blast of cold air and snow. And if you've skied, especially at Winter Place or Wisp or Snowshoe in March or even early April, you know you've been pleasantly surprised. Some of these spring cold fronts in March and April can be amazing. So we'll have time to look at that as we go through the weekend. But if you're heading up to any of the resorts this weekend, enjoy it. Don't cancel your plans. They're all going to be open. It should be beautiful weather. You don't need the heavy parka and you don't need all the hat and gloves that you normally have. It's actually going to be a pretty nice weekend overall, and traveling should be great. As long as the resorts have great snow, which they always do because they make it whenever they can, we should be in good shape for this weekend. We'll start looking past this spring thaw coming up next week and looking ahead to that first week of March because I think there is a potential for some late season action. As always, think snow, enjoy your President's Day weekend, and make sure you hit up skisoutheast.com for the latest conditions. Send your reports to them so everybody can share in that information.